Hi, Ansar. Good evening. How are
Hi,
you doing?
good evening. Alhamdulillah. Fine. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you. First of all, huge congratulations on passing PMP exam on your first attempt. Sorry, I just forgot it's not your first attempt, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so
Actually, I need to thank you, for making me success in this. So, as you know, this is my third attempt actually. I mean, the second one was interrupted due to the problem in the application. So, literally, it was third attempts. But anyway,
so this
second
is
course
your
actually, yeah,
so
second
this
course.
is
I
the
mean, yeah,
yeah, go
yes.
ahead, please.
So second course, before I took course from some other teacher. So due to that, I couldn't pass PMP. Then I joined with your course, and I passed. Secured the PMP certification. So actually, I'm supposed to thank you.
All right. Thank you so much
Okay.
for mentioning. A lot of people they don't talk about failures, but thank you
Mm.
so much for bringing it up. And it's really motivating for everybody or anyone who would be preparing for the exam that failure is not an end. So this is Ansar's third attempt. He could not pass in first two attempts, and then he joined my course. I helped him, guided him, made him understand all the necessary concept, which Answer later on called PMI mindsets. And then he took the exam and he passed with all above targets. So, Ansar, thank you so much for the time for this lesson learned session. Whatever we will be discussing will be really helpful for anyone who would be taking the PMP exam. And one thing that I need to mention here, Ansar passed the exam based on new exam format. A lot of people are scared that they don't know what is included in the new PMP content. So let's talk to Ansar and let's try to understand what was his exam preparation strategy, what study resources he used, and how he ended up passing the PMP exam with all above targets. So, Ansar, over to you. So let's start with how much total time you spent in the entire preparation process.
Actually, okay, it's my privilege to share my experience. So I'm getting a lot of calls. Once you shared the certification over LinkedIn, so I'm getting friends from known or unknown people. So I'm really ready to help others to share my feedback regarding this. So I actually literally I start my PMP last year. So as I told in the beginning, I took the course from one of the lecturer. I'm not. It's not good to announce the name of the lecturer anyway. So anyway, I took the course, but I didn't get what is PMP and what it means. So after the course, actually we were six people on that group. I mean, in my close circle, someone who most of them took certification from with the help of Indemia. So after we completed that course, so we were in a position that we decided by ourselves, this is not our bread, like this is not our choice. Well, because it's purely based on civil engineers. I'm electronics engineer. This is not my field. Moreover, this is not an easy certification, and we came to in that mindset. So what happened is after a couple of after 6 months nearly, one of my close friend, he shared Indemia the brochure. It's like 15 days. I don't remember the content. 30 days or 15 days, we'll pass exam like that. So once we saw the advertisement, I text you and you brief the course. So Alhamdulillah. So see after starting the courses from the first day when you started the business domain now, the business domain, right? The first one. So when you start the class, your methodology, your way of teaching, then after the introduction, after the course, like after your lecture, we came to know that this is not what we learned before. This is not the subject what we feared. So myself, what I did is I conveyed this message to some other people. who ran away from the PMP due to the our first lecture we took. So anyway, after your class, it was fantastic. I'm really saying after after joining your class, I myself I become I'm a lover of PMP. Right now, this is one of the field which I'm loving. I was last day, there was one of my friend. I already can discuss with him that I'm not going to stop with PMP. Inshallah, soon I'll go with RMP because I love this subject now. So we have to get something from here because not only for the certification, but also, which we can, this experience, this mindset, we we can use in our personal life as well as our career life.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all the details. And I'm so delighted to hear that you enjoyed my course and it helps you pass the exam. So my job is that if anyone enrolls in my course, they should cross the line. They should pass the exam. So I'm not like an instructor who enrolls people in the course and then let them do whatever they want. I make sure that they follow the 15 days crash course. They do all the mock test. I regularly monitor their score, and then tell them, okay, now you're ready. Let's process the application. Let's do this, read this, watch that, do these mock tests. Now your score is improving. Now let's go and take the exam. And I think this is exactly what I did with you. And today you are with PMP certification. So thank you for explaining all these things. So yes, you were
Yes,
telling
yes.
you started preparation 1 year ago, but how much time you actually spent in preparation after joining my course? Like, or in other words, if someone wants to do the PMP exam, what do you think? How much time is needed to pass the PMP?
So yeah, with my experience, I'm saying 1 month is more than enough. If you go for a 4 hours daily, at least 2 to 4
Fantastic,
hours a daily. If this is a
fantastic.
if you can maintain that schedule, uh, inshallah, he can pass PMP with your course and LMS.
Yes, absolutely. 30 days is more than enough to prepare for
So
PMP exam. Attend my 15 days crash course, and you need additional 15 days to do the mock test and to study tips and tricks and notes and other material. And then you will be ready for the exam. So 30 days is good amount of time if you could manage 2 to 3 hours. So this is ideal time. Anything more than that, I see it's unnecessarily prolonging the preparation. So 30 days is more than enough. Thank you, Ansar. So Ansar,
exactly.
what study resources you use for your preparation?
Okay. The first basic one is your introduction, your class, your lecturer. So this lecturer, it touches various field. The questions may come or may not come, but we will get what is the core of the PMP. So that is compulsory we have to take anyway. Plus, there is an LMS. There is in LMS there's a PDF. We are giving some notes, right? So this is also really helpful before the exam. We should read that PDF. So it will revoke what we learn in your video sessions. Additionally, the questions, the mock exams, we have to practice how much. Initially, when I took the exam, I did only I tried only one times all the questions, but this is not the correct way. At least 3 or 4 times we need to do the mock, and we have to be thorough. So once we thorough in the questions, if you read the question, the answer will come automatically in our mind. What PMI is going to ask and what should be the answer for this. So then we'll go through the answers and pick one. So I believe this is going to work.
So first thing is these live sessions, right? Recordings are also provided to you. So here you could see I don't use PowerPoints. That's why my student love the way I teach, because I use these visual boards, which are highly, highly interactive, colorful. You could see all the diagrams here, right? I draw all these things during the live class. So you can actually see how these things are being constructed or built. So these retain in your mind. So from student perspective, this way of teaching is really, really helpful. So one of the things that my students use is they join my live classes. And during the live classes, I complete all these concepts from um, domain one to all the domains, right? So this is how we cover 100% of the course content during the live class. Or you can have access to the self-paced course where we provide these recordings as well. And once you do that, then we jump to the mock test. And in mock test, we have 1,500 plus mock tests where there are topic-wise mock tests, there are full domain tests, 180 questions. Right now, we have five mock tests from full domain and roughly 12 mock tests from topic-wise, a total 1,500 plus questions. If someone solves these 1,500 question, I can guarantee you, you would be able to fully understand each and everything that you could expect in the exam, each and everything. And there won't be any single thing that you see in the exam, but we couldn't cover in the course because we go through each and everything from detail, from start till end. And this is what Ansar did. He completed all the classes and he understood all the concept before he did the mock test. And once we do this, then we jump to the mock test. And in mock test, I say your minimum score should be 70%. Once you start getting 70%, go ahead and take the exam. So before Ansar's exam, I asked Ansar, what is your average score? So Ansar, what was your average score in the mock test?
It's the for the last one it's around 75 plus, more than 75 I scored. 80, sometimes
Yes.
88, 82, yeah, more than
Yes.
75. Yes.
Absolutely. If you are getting consistently above 70%, go ahead and take the exam. So this is one of the resources that I shared with Ansar. And another important resource that I shared just before his exam. It's one of the best study resources that I have ever created. So these are my brand new 180 PMP exam tips for the new PMP exam format, which was implemented on 9th of July, right? So you see
Yes.
180 concepts means 180 questions. If you really understand each and every concept explained here, you would be fully ready for the exam. So here I have all the topics, right? Stakeholders, communications, change management, agile, waterfall, AI, all the things are mentioned in detail here. So this is one of the very good resources that Answer, would you like to talk about it? How helpful this was for your exam?
Yes, yes. Do you remember that day which I told you? I mean, soon after the exam, you asked me, how was the exam? I told you it was too tough, and I'm only 50-50. Then you asked me what was the passing percentage. I asked you 50-50. Why? Because so when I start the exam, I felt that the exam was too tough. So there are only very nearly 5 to 10% of direct questions. Like we know the answer. So this is 100% we know it is correct. But apart from this, most of the questions we don't know what is the answer. So I use PMI mindset. So what you share the 180 tips, it's nothing but the PMI mindset. So what we will do when we get a question, we will evaluate this question with PMI mindset. Then what we will do is we started eliminating the wrong answer. It might not be the PMI mindset. So what we will do, we reject, I mean, we omit the options. Then we'll come to know one or two questions, one or two answers, and we'll select the one. So most probably it will be the correct answer. So this is what PMI mindset, how it is worked for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I said this is one of the best study resources I have ever created. This is what we call PMI mindsets. If you really understand these mindset principles, then even if you haven't uh, covered a topic, with the help of that mindset, you would be able to find the right answer. So this is very powerful, and I shared this with Ansar before his exam. He thoroughly understood each and every point, and with that mindset, he took the PMP exam and passed with above target. So if you are preparing for the new PMP exam, go ahead and get benefit from this resource. Another resource that I shared with Ansar was my premium, very famous study notes. So in just 9 pages, I have covered 100% of the course content in just 9 pages. From day one to the last domain, right? It has uh, almost everything. So, Answer, did you see anything in the exam that we could not cover during the course, or that you couldn't see in these notes?
Everything it was covered in your topic. So, moreover, I would like to add one word for this. Suppose during the mock exam, if you find some difficulties like you could not follow or we didn't understand, say we got uh, some chart like Pareto chart. So we don't know what was Pareto chart. So with this note, we can go back and see how it was, how was the Pareto chart. So with this, these kind of notes, it is really helpful when we stuck during the mock exams or I mean during mock exams, correctly. So,
Yes.
it's a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what, as Ansar mentioned, there are a lot of graphs and charts in your exam, right? And a lot of concepts are explained with the help of graph. So, for example, one of my students told me he saw exactly this chart in the exam. 100% as it is, as you could see here. So this is what I explained during the live class, like how we divide different methodologies in different quadrants. So when you sit in the exam, these graphs and charts and visuals stick to your mind, and you would be able to answer all the questions correctly. So this is really, really helpful if you want to understand the PMI mindset and all the concepts through visual, through interactive learning. I would strongly encourage you must get benefit from these resources. Okay, Answer, now let's talk about exam. How many case-based question you saw in your exam?
Roughly, it's around 13 questions. 10
13.
questions in the first 60 minutes. Sorry, first before the break, and the last, I believe, 3 questions in the last module, like
Yes,
that.
absolutely. So roughly there would be 12 to 15 case study based question. So you will receive a case study, and there would be 3 to 4 questions regarding that case study in your PMP exam. So in first session, you will be having 10 questions, and then there would be break. So this is not a previous PMP exam where you get a break after 60 questions. Here you get break after first 10 questions. And as I mentioned, told Answer that don't spend more than 25 minutes in the first session and then move to the next one, take the break. So yes, first 10 session, case-based study question. Then you will be having 10 minutes break. Then second session, you will be having 85 questions. Then there is another break. And then in the last session, you will be having 85 questions. So prepare for
Exactly.
that. In a case study, there would be a long case study for, uh, you know, uh, 4 to 5 paragraphs. And uh, then uh, there would be 3 to 4 questions associated with that, right? So you need to read the case study, and then you need to answer those questions. So this is very interesting from exam perspective. So you should know that, and don't get scared by looking at that case study, right? Case study
Yes, yes,
questions look slightly difficult, but they are not. Okay, so make sure that
exactly.
you read all the things, you read all the paragraphs before you answer the question. Questions would be slightly easier. The only thing is that case study is slightly longer, so it's tiring to read. But overall, it's not very difficult from understanding perspective. So make sure you go through the entire case study, right? And then answer. And also you would see those questions again, right? As Ansar mentioned in the third section of your exam, you will see a couple of case studies again. So no need to be worried when you see them again. Just make sure that you have thoroughly read the content. And when you answer, your answer should be based on PMI mindset. Okay, perfect. So Ansar, anything else, any other different thing that you saw in your exam?
No, I would like to add one more point regarding this case study. So initially, I was expecting, we were expecting the case study, but I expected only one case study for one question. But it is different, but it is not like that. Totally, I got 3 case studies. So, and for the whole 13 or 14 questions. That means we don't need to read all the case studies, all the paragraphs in all the questions. but they will remain like there is a tag which is based on which case study. So I got one case study for one hospital subject and one for an IT subject. So there, before, I mean, after the question, there is a in bracket they are mentioning is based on, I mean, which case study we need to follow. So once, two or three times, actually, my I read three times the case study, and before I am attending the first question. So in order to understand the concept, actually. So once I read three times, and for rest of the question, I didn't answer. I didn't read the paragraph because we already know what kind of institution is running. So for me, it was a hospital, running. So there is some insurance department, IT department, and they need to construct the hospital also. So it was a hybrid project. So that mindset will come to our mind. Then we'll start solving questions based on the paragraph plus PMI mindset. So I'm saying I'm as of my knowledge, my experience, just very simple, just not like complicated. Well, like what you said, when we see the paragraph, when we see the passage, it will be it will make us complication, but the content is very simple and the question also very simple.
Yes,
That's it.
absolutely, absolutely. So yes, there would be 2 to 3 case studies, and 3 to 4 questions will be associated to each case study. So as here I have mentioned as an example that how you will see the case study based question in your exam. So this is the case study. You could see 3 to 4 paragraphs. There could be a table attached to that. There could be a graph attached to that. Right? There could be additional information exhibit attached to that case study. So you could see it's not a typical PMP question. It's a long case study about a particular project, and it's a solar grid interconnection program. So once you read that case study, there will be questions associated to that case study. So you see question one, question two, question three. Sometimes they give you 2 questions regarding one case study. Sometimes they give you 3 questions. So this is how you will, uh, have the case-based study question. So we have started uploading case-based study questions. You can check on LinkedIn and prepare and practice case-based study question before you enter into the exam room. Okay, perfect. So, Answer, any advice for anyone who would be taking the exam? Okay, before I talk about that, you also mentioned 50-50. Exam was tough. How was, what's what you feeling during the exam? Were you confident that you're going to pass the exam?
Uh, Actually, the 50% what I said is I'm sure about that question, answer, which I made is 100% correct because there is no, for example, if they're asking some scenario, say that the project manager is in confusion whether the institution need to buy or they need to make it internally. So this is the question. So while reading this question, there is only one answer. We know that. That is benefit make or buy analysis. So this is a direct question. Something like so we are. I'm sure that there is no any answer other than this for this question. So these kind of questions I got nearly 50%. The other 50% or 50% plus, I'm not sure the answer is correct. Uh, for other 50 percentage, answer was I'm not sure whether I'm correct with the answer. So for that, I applied 100% PMI mindset and I come to the one answer. So I believe that method worked well for me.
So thank you so much, Answer. I want to show one more thing that is about my next 15 days crash course, which is starting on August 15. I hope you could see on the screens. Course fees just $399. A course by PMI authorized instructor with all the official material and guidance till passing the PMP exam, including 35 contact hours, official accepted by PMI, is just at $399. It's very economical. So we offer 15 days crash course. So all the detail of day one, day two, day three, everything is written here. And then we could see we don't allow our student to take the exam until they get 70% score. So that's the cutoff that we have. That's the benchmark that we have mentioned here. These are my colleagues who help me with the training. And these are 3 different options that we offer. For example, you could take self-paced course at $299, batch program, which Answer took $399. And one-to-one coaching in $2,000. So if you take my course, these are some of my students who took the course and passed on their first attempt. So if you want to join my next course, this is the contact number or email ID you can contact, and my team will reach out to you to explain each and everything. Answer, thank you so much for the insights. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. This is gonna really help everybody who's going to take the PMP exam. I wish you all best of luck and stay connected. Whenever you need help, I'm just text away. And thank you so much for recommending my course to your friends and colleagues. A lot of people are reaching out to me. They're saying, "Hey, we have seen Ansar's success story. We want to take your course. So thank you so much for recommending my course."
Okay, welcome. It's my privilege actually. It's already I already shared with I'm keep getting messages from colleagues and other people. They're asking me question how which one I need to take. I told him go with Amar's program. The class is very much helpful. Go with his mock exams plus whatever the mock questions you are trying to get. Go with that. The LMS is enough, but in addition to that, anyway, it was my privilege to share my experience, which may helpful to others to pass PMP. The one thing I'm going to say that PMP is not a big thing with 1 month of preparation, everyone can pass. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ansar. Thank you so much. And let's meet in next certification preparation.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.